Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् So today our plan was to summarize the 7th chapter. We have completed studying all the verses of 7. So let's go through and see what is the essence of this chapter. We said that the 7th chapter, in the 7th chapter, the gears are shifting. The first 6 chapters talks about Jiva, namely Tvam Pada Vicharaha. In the statement Tattvamasi, there is Tat, there is Tvam, and there is Asi. So Tvam means Jivaha, which is me, the self, the human being, the person who wants, who has desires, and that person. Analysis of that person. First 6 chapters, where we saw there is the teaching of Jiva Swarupaha. What is the nature of the Jiva? This in the 2nd chapter we've seen. So, Natvevaham Jatu Nasam Natvanneme Janadhipaha. There was never a time you did not exist. There was never a time you will cease to. There will never be a time when you will cease to exist. Means what? Atma. That you really is Atma. And that Atma is quote unquote eternal. Okay? Nityatvam. And then Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. So this Atma cannot be, is not subject to any action, is not subject to be an object of any action, and Atma cannot also act. Okay, by using that word, Nahanyate Nahanyamane Sharire. Okay, so all these things we saw. Then Najayate Mriyate Vakadachit. Atma is neither born nor will it perish, but it exists. Neither born does not mean it has never been born. We are waiting for it to be born. No. Atma is eternal, so it is Ajaha. We saw all that before. And then second important topic. First topic is what? Jiva Swarupa. Second topic, Karma Yoga. So that attitude, what is it that I need to do in order to know this? Means Karma Yoga comes in, walks in. What is the attitude with which I do? There is no change really in what I'm doing, because I'm already following Dharma. I'm already a Vaidika. I'm part of the system. So I know what I should do. But the attitudinal shift take place. And now the attitude is different. Um, attitude is Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Brahmanyadhaya Karmani. We saw all that in chapter 5, chapter 3, entire chapter 3 is full of Karma Yoga. Okay. Then what is number 3? Number 3 is Purusha Prayatnaha. These are the main three things in the first 6 chapters. Purusha Prayatnaha means effort. Effort has to be put in by the individual. Very important. God will save me only if I put in effort. How do you know that? Krishna says, Uddhare edatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. He says, you take care of yourself. Very important. And so only then I can help you. And a fellow doesn't want to do anything, even God is helpless. That's the idea here. And so, therefore, the question of does a human being have free will or not must be well settled now for all of you. Must be well settled. If I have no free will, then the question becomes what is the difference between an animal and a human being? A non human animal and a human being. What is the difference? We can ask the question if I don't have any free will. And then, why is so much abuse going on? Physical, mental, whatever abuse is going on. Without free will, how can I abuse? Huh? Animals don't. Nobody says animals are abusing each other. The tiger is abusing the deer. This is not acceptable. We have to justice. Where is justice in this ecosystem? God is a masochist. No, nobody says all that. So the fact that there is abuse going on shows that human beings have free will. Okay, and so no free will means no crime, and no crime means no punishment. Crime is there, punishment is there, so much is going on. We seek justice. Justice is so important in every society, every country, every human being wants justice. And finally, no free will means no moksha. How can you get moksha without free will? Hmm? I'm giving you some ideas to think about. These are all nididhyasana. These are all points you have to spend time thinking about. I'm simply stating all these things, but by now you have the knowledge to capability to think through all these things. No free will means no moksha. Moksha is a purushartha. Purushena arthyate iti purushartha. That which is sought after by a human being is a purushartha. Moksha is one of the purushartha. So I must seek. I seek and I must know what it is. And the clearer I am about moksha, the the solution also will become clearer. And so sometimes I say, the fact that you're asking whether you have free will or not itself tells me that you have free will. You don't have free will, you can't ask this question. Can't ask. You already know something that there is something called free will, freedom, choice, agency. All these things are there. That's why I'm asking this question. So Krishna in this chapter says that Uddhared Atmanatmana. Help yourself and don't condemn yourself for whatever be the reason. There's no reason for condemnation. So this is the first shatkam. And from that we shift to 7th chapter, which is the second shatkam, second group of 6 chapters, where the primary topic is Bhagavan, Ishvara, Paramatma. Okay. So again here we have Ishvara Swarupam, what is the nature of Bhagavan, what is the nature of Ishvara, then Ishvara Anugraham, all the way up to chapter 12, because Ishvara Anugraham is needed. And then Upasana, what are the means to gain that Anugraham and to understand that Ishvara Swarupam. Those are the 3 main topics. So with this background, we are going to enter into the 7th chapter. It has predominantly 5 sections, and rather than list all the 5 sections, we'll go through it one by one. Let's chant this section. The first section including this first 3 shlokas, Bhagavan introduces the chapter. Okay, so let's start chanting this. Manjula. You can unmute yourself. अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः
अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ
मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ
योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः
योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः
असंशयं समग्रं माम्
असंशयं समग्रं माम्
यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम्
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम्
इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः
इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः
यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत्
यत्नात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत्
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु
कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये
यततामपि सिद्धानाम्
यततामपि सिद्धानां
कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
Yeah. So in these shlokas, Bhagavan Krishna is introducing the chapter. What will the chapter have? Jnanam teham savijnanam vakshyami. I will teach you jnanam and I will teach you vijnanam also. Previously I thought there is only jnanam. Now he is saying vijnanam also I teach you. My God, this is going on and on like Hanuman's tale. It doesn't end at all. I thought we want some jnanam about Atma. Now he said I'll teach you vijnanam also. And so here, jnanam here means Saguna Ishvara Jnanam. Saguna Ishvara Jnanam. Bhagavan with qualities. I have so many devatas, and all devatas have qualities, and they all have powers, of course, special attributes. They're all special aspects of the creation, specific aspects of the creation. That is called Saguna Ishvara Jnanam. And Vijnanam. So whenever Jnanam and Vijnanam come together, the meaning of Jnanam has to be interpreted differently. That's all. So Vijnanam being Jnanam of Nirguna Ishvaraha. What is that Nirguna Ishvaraha? And later on he is going to say that Nirguna Ishvaraha Para Prakritihi and Saguna Ishvaraha Apara Prakritihi. Correct? And Yat Jnatva Anyat Jnatavyam Na Avashishyate. Knowing this, there is nothing else you will say that I need to know. Means what? It doesn't mean you'll suddenly know all the languages of this world and you'll become a linguist and this and that. No, all that will not happen. And you will be exactly the way you are. But nothing else is to be known means there is nothing else needed for your artha and kama and dharma. That is the meaning. And so now let's chant the next set of shlokas, which is from 4 to 12. He is going to talk about Ishvara Swarupam. First one is what? Introduction of the chapter. And now 4 to 12, Ishvara Swarupam, nature of Ishvara. Okay. Bhagya. भूमिरापो नलो वायुः
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकार इतीयं मे
अहंकार इति यं मे
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम्
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम्
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
ययेदं धार्यते जगत्
ययेदं धार्यते जगत्
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
शब्दः खे पौरुषं दृषु
शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च
तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ
तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ
जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु
जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु
तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
One more before that.
oh
Yatmaji
there is
Bala.
one more balam balam balavatam chaham
बलं बलवतां चाहं
कामराग विवर्जितम्
कामरागविवर्जितं
धर्मा विरुद्धो भूतेषु
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
राजसास्तामसाश्च ये
राजसास्तामसाश्च ये
मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि
मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि
न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
so talking about Ishvara Swarupam, what is Bhagavan? Okay, what is Bhagavan? So this question, it looks like only Sanatana Dharma this question is being asked. Nowhere else this question is asked. And especially the other popular religions, if you ask this question, your life only becomes difficult. And so here Bhagavan is defining himself. Ishvara is what? So in five apara prakriti. Now in four apara prakriti, bhumi rapo nalo vayuho ityadi, and then in five apareya mitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. So there is a para prakriti whose nature is the nature of the jiva, And yaya idam dharyate jagat. And that is what sustains this world. World is apara prakriti, and I, the para prakriti nature of me is what sustains this world. Like that, he's defined. And how do you understand it? Well, apara prakriti is a matter, material, and para prakriti is what? Consciousness. Maybe some people use the word spirit. Okay, but you have to understand the word spirit in the right spirit. Otherwise, you will make a mistake in understanding. So that also we have to keep in mind. And so better to stick with consciousness, chit. That is enough. And other words, super consciousness, this, that, and all that. Super consciousness word you can use if there is something called consciousness, and then something bigger or better than consciousness. Consciousness itself, we are we're struggling to understand. And so if I now introduce super consciousness, you can imagine what super confusion there can be, correct? So we'll stick with consciousness for now. And so what is common between the apara prakriti and para prakriti? Well, they are anadi, beginningless. Both are beginningless. And so even science says law of conservation of mass, energy, etc. It means what? Nothing can be fundamentally created. Correct? Science also cannot accept. That's why science cannot accept all these Abrahamic theories of creation. Suddenly the creation came into being. No scientist can accept it. You don't even have to study Vedanta for all this. Scientists cannot accept it. And so the scientist has to be blind to certain aspects. Only then they can accept it. Okay. So Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was a theologian, and he was a scientist, no doubt, a theologian. He decided to overlook certain things, and otherwise he would have given up his theology. so, uh, so what are some of the corollaries? Ishvara is Jagat Karanam, is the creator of this world. Creator of this world. And how do I understand this creation? Did he create things like I am making vada and chapati and dosa and this things like that? One after the other is creating, and this is only creation I know. There's no other creation I know. No, this creation I have to change my understanding. And the creation is manifestation, abhivyakti. Manifestation means Bhagavan consciousness manifests as this world manifests. And what is formless seems to gain a form. Just like clay seems to gain a form. What is form then? Form is totally mithya because the entire pot is clay. There is nothing other than clay in this pot. Nothing other than clay means literally nothing other than clay. We are not playing any magic here. And there is a form if you say, okay, is form an object that is different from clay? No, form is not an object. And so form depends entirely on, on clay for its existence. And that form is what I call pot. Ignoring the clay, I call pot. I say pot. If I ignore clay, then I am in for trouble. And so this is called first nimitta karanam. Create from the point of view of the intelligence behind the creation. You call Bhagavan as nimitta karanam because intelligence is needed. Because how do you know intelligence is needed for this creation? Because every time we are discovering, every science is discovering that intelligence behind the creation. Every science, every ology, okay, astrology, cosmology, then coming down all the way down. And biology, zoology. This ology means what? Discovering what is there. That jnanam, plant growth, botany, so much science is there. And that science doesn't seem to end at all. Therefore, we know nimitta karanam, the intelligent cause of this creation. And then upadana karanam, from the point of view of the creation itself, the material for that creation did not come from anywhere else. Bhagavan did not borrow. Bhagavan is manifest, and therefore we call Bhagavan as the Upadana Karanam. Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. That is the way to understand this creation. And therefore, world is not separate from Ishvara. Corollary, another corollary from all this is Bhagavan, world is not separate from Bhagavan. That is why only in our dharma we consider the world to be sacred. Everything is sacred, every blade of grass is sacred, every piece of paper is sacred. And so that is, we have grown in that culture. We didn't have to be told until we come to Bhagavad Gita and said, oh my God, there is so much understanding involved to come to this point of saying the world is sacred, but I already knew it. And otherwise, it's difficult. That's why Westerners, when they come, I've had some conversations with them. They love Vedanta. And then they begin to see this, and then they say, oh my God, no, this is not the way Christianity talks about it. World is meant for my consumption, this and that. World is meant for your consumption. And so this non-sanctity, the minute you make something not sacred, then all problems start. That is what I'm observing. And so sanctity has to be given. And so we are blessed with that vision here. And so going back to Dr. Rameshji's favorite example of golden ornaments. Golden ornaments. Why go with pot and clay all the time? That Shankara's example. We should come up with some new examples. Golden ornaments. So, gold is Satyam, ornament is Mithya. Gold is Paraprakriti, ornament is Aparaprakriti. You cannot wear gold, you can only wear an ornament. Ornaments are useful. Gold bricks you can't wear. Bricks of gold not possible to adorn yourself with. And so, but then gold and ornaments. So, that is the creation Bhagavan talks about. And so, all these forms are all different. Avastha Bhedaha Asti. Water is there, ice is there, steam is there. It's all same water, H2O only. Forms keep on changing. Like this, Para Prakriti is the same, is the content. Yaya Dharyate Jagat, Idam Jagat, Shloka number this one, 5. Okay. And everything else is Nama Rupa, Nama and Rupa. So therefore, another corollary, Paramathanandaji says, therefore, you don't have to look for where is Sri Ram, when will the next avatara come, etc. Why? Avatar is already there. It's called Vishwarupa Avatara, right in front of you. Okay? You can even look at your body and say, hey, I'm also an avatara. Then everybody will say around you. Don't say it loud, okay? Everybody will say, yeah, this fellow is an avatara. It's obvious he's an avatara. This kind of avatara nobody has seen, only in this house we have seen. So you be quiet about all these things. And so Vishwarupa Avatara. And therefore, Raso Hamapsu Kaunteya 7, 8, this one, 8th shloka, I think. Raso Hamapsu Kaunteya. Before that, he says in 7, Mai Sarvamidam Protam. Everything is built upon me like Sutre Manigana Eva. I'm the one, just like the string ties up all the beads together. I'm the one who is pervading this world. I'm the one who sustains this world. Like that he said. And so in all languages you have this. Any song, classical music, or even you look at poets from the past, Surdas, Kabir Das. In Tamil Nadu, we have Bharadiyar songs. Kakkai Chiraginile Nandalala Nindran Nindran Kariya Niram Tundridaye Nandalala. So he says, Kakkai Chiragile Nandalala. Hey Krishna, this crow, the feather, the wings of the crow are black, but really I see your blackness in that. I see you in that. You are the blackness in the crow, like that he says. And then பார்க்கும் மரங்களெல்லாம் நந்தலாலா. So all the trees and plants I see, பச்சை நிறம் தூண்டுதையே நந்தலாலா. Hey, that greenness, everything that I see there is you alone. Like that Bharatiya, Subramanya Bharati writes very famous song. You will see in all movies. In movies, not as many movies are there where they have picked up this song. So this vision is what is being discussed here. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi sashi shurya yoho ityadi. We've seen all that. So the essence of in all the waters is me, and then prabhasmi. I am the brilliance. I am what makes all these things shine. The sun and the moon. And pranamaha sarva vedeshu shabdaha ke paurusham rishu ityadi. We've seen all that. So sarvam vishnumayam jagat. Sarvam Shivamayam Jagat. If you are a Shiva Bhakta, Sarvam Shivamayam Jagat. And therefore, so all matter is apara prakritihi. Consciousness is para prakritihi. And what about mind? World is apara prakritihi. Body is apara prakritihi. Mind is very subtle. Mind cannot be apara. No, mind cannot be apara. No, mind is also apara. Why? It is subtle, all right, no doubt. But mind also, the scientists know that mind is apara. How do they know? Well, you look at any mental, emotional problems that we go to the doctor for, and the doctor gives you medicine. The medicine is very much material, and then it puts me to sleep. So, antidepressant medication, it does help. Sleep medication, it does help. So, only apara can influence apara. One apara can influence another apara prakritihi. So, despite being subtle, mind also is apara prakritihi, and everything is apara. So, where is para? I want to immediately find out para. All along, I've been looking for apara prakriti. So, okay, now tell me where I can find para prakriti. So, that he has said in 7.5 itself. He said, so jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. You are apara prakriti. The looker is apara prakriti. The seeker, para prakriti. The seeker is para prakriti. Jiva bhutam mahabaho. Very important. This is what distinguishes. This is what puts our seeking to rest finally. Right? So you don't have to look further. You have to stop looking and then keep the ears open and do what is called Shravanam. And that those words of the Vedas will become a mirror which will essentially reflect you. That is para prakritihi. Okay. This we have seen till it goes on till 12. So balam balavatam chaham etc. He says all that. Okay. Now from 13 to 19, okay, he's going to talk about, he's going to assess the samsara. Okay. So samsara karanam and samsara parihara. 13 to 19, samsara karanam, samsara parihara. What is the cause for samsara? How do you remove the samsara? This is what he's going to talk about. Okay. So let's look at that. Swapna. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः
येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी
मम माया दुरत्यया
मम माया दुरत्यया
मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते
मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते
मायामेतां तरन्ति ते
मायामेतां तरन्ति ते
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः
प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः।
प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः। प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः।
माययापहृतज्ञानाः
माययापहृतज्ञानाः
आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
Chaturvidha bhajante maam.
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम्
Jana sukritino Arjuna.
जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन
Arto jignasurartharthi.
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
Jnani cha bharatarshabha.
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
Tesham jnani nityayuktaha.
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः
Ekabhaktirvishishyate.
एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते
प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोऽप्यर्थम्.
प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम्
अहं स च मम प्रियः.
अहं स च मम प्रियः
उदाराः सर्व एवैते.
उदारा सर्व एवैते
ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम्.
ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मयि
आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा.
आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा
मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्.
मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
Am I audible? Mujhe? Yeah. Okay. बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते.
बहूनां जन्मनान्ते
ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते.
ज्ञानवानां प्रपद्यते
वासुदेवः सर्वमिति.
वासुदेव सर्वमिति
स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
समाहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
So samsara karanam. Is it, are you hearing any noise other than my voice? Noise free. Okay, good. So number 13. Tribihi gunamayaihi bhavaihi. Yebihi sarvam idam jagat mohitam. That is Bhagavan's statement here. That this apara prakriti, which has three qualities, tribihi, trigunatmika maya, trigunatmika jagat. Okay, and so that is the one that is very attractive. Okay, so that it is mohitam, jagat mohitam. So people, the entire world is as though trapped, as though deluded by this trigunatmika para prakriti. And while it is true that you know the world is useful to sustain the body, of course, one needs food, and so food is necessary. Apara prakriti, body is apara prakriti. So all this usefulness is there, and that is how the setup is. And so survival requires apara prakriti. But then I have taken myself to be the body, and therefore I think I am a martyaha, I am a mortal, and so that is where the problem is. And so there is always this constant yoga kshema. Yoga is what? Yoga is getting what I want or getting rid of what I don't want. Both are yoga. Okay. And what I want, I need to work for it, and then I get it. And then kshema, I have to protect it. It's called kshema. Protect it. So the entire life it gets spent on yoga and kshema. Somebody says yoga is status. I want status. I want status. Then I need to maintain it. So then I want Quo, co. I want status, but then I need to maintain the status because otherwise status will go away. I need to work hard to maintain my status. And so co. So status I want, then I want status quo. And sometimes without getting status, this status quo continues. Nothing happens to me. Okay, that also is there. So that is a problem. So why is that happening? Because everything that I get is going to be what? We saw that dukkha mishritatvam, atriptikaratvam, and bandhakatvam. These three are always there in all these three. We saw all that before. And so there, but then don't reject apara prakriti because it is like that. You understand it to be like that. That is what is important. If I understand it like that, then I will not bet on apara prakriti. And so tribihi gunamayaihi bhavaihi, having diagnosed the problem in this manner, from 14 onwards, he is going to give this parihara, samsara parihara. Okay, so दैवी शेषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते ये ताम मायां तरन्ति ते. So मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते, he says, those who surrender to me, those who worship me, prapatti, very important thing. This is a very important shloka. Very important shloka for us also. For Vaishnavas also very important shloka. For everybody else is very important. We all look at it differently. Prapadyante, yeah, we have to be very devoted to Krishna. And that is what is prapatti he talks about here. And so bhakti, suddenly bhakti comes here. Bhakti comes. I thought I was very clear so long. 6 chapters, jnanam, jnanena mokshaha, tadviddhi pranipatena, pariprashtena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam. All these things we saw, asocyan anvashochastvam, and then अशोच्यान अन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Shankara defines panda as jnanam. People who have jnanam will not grieve, like that he said. And 4th chapter also we saw Shreyan Dravyamayad Yajnat Jnana Yajnaf Parantapa. Jnana Yajnaf Parantapa. Then what? श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते. All my activities, all my duties should culminate in what? Jnane parisamapyate. There also talked about jnana, knowledge of the self, knowledge of Ishvara also, everything included. And then suddenly here she says, prapatti mameva ye prapadyante. Prapatti, bhakti. Okay. So now you are bringing in bhakti here, which is good because we need multiple paths, we are all people of choice. We have choice, we have free will, and we love choice. Wherever we go, there has to be choice. And so finally bhakti has come here. So Bhagavan recognizes bhakti is also needed, like that he says. No, this is not a multi-path, etc. This is not you can have bhakti or knowledge. No, that is not the idea here. Bhakti, we don't look at it as a separate sadhanam. Bhakti is a series of disciplines culminating in Antakarana Shuddhi, which then takes me to Jnanam. And so we will say that it is Jnana Rupa Bhakti. Bhakti. And Bhagavan also says that in so many words that he clarifies in sloka number 16, right? 716, he says that Chaturvidha bhajante mam. People worship me in 4 ways. We saw the 4 types of devotees there. And then Artaha, Arthati, Jignasuhu, and Jnani. So clearly he is giving us so many stages of bhakti in this sloka, correct? So that Artha Bhakti is very important. The examination fear Bhakti is so important. That is how it starts. And that fear is there, and therefore Bhakti is there, and there is no choice. This is how it is. And so that is how Bhakti develops in us. And then therefore Artha also is a samsari. Artharthi is a samsari. What about Jignasu? Jignasu also is a samsari. And then Jnani. Jnani is the one. Eka bhaktir vishishyate, he says in 17. And so one has to become a jnani. The bhakti has to flower, has to culminate, has to mature in becoming a jnani, in gaining jnanam. Correct? Krishna says that. Okay. And then it's a process, obviously. How do we know it's a process? Well, 19, look at 19. Okay. So 19 he says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanaman Mam Prapadyate. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After many births, that process to culminate the process takes many births. That's what he says very clear. Jnanavan, the one who Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma Sudurlapaha. So he said that. So that is the samsara karanam, samsara parihara. Okay. What is the karanam? Karanam is trigunatmika maya. And then what is the parihara? Well, recognize that it is trigunatmika maya. Recognize that there is nothing in this world that is permanent. I am looking for permanence. Permanence is what? Permanent happiness. Permanent happiness is not going to be there unless I am already that permanent happiness. That unless is Advaita Vedanta. Correct? Okay. So next from shlokas 20 to 26, he is going to talk about Sakama Bhakti. Correct? Sakama Bhakti. So Meera and Narayana. Go ahead and unmute yourself. कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः
कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः
प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः
प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः
तं तं नियममास्थाय
तं तं नियममास्थाय
प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
यो यो यां यां तनुं भक्तः
यो यो यां यां तनुः भक्तः
श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति
श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति
तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां
तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां
तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तया
युक्तः
युक्तः
तस्याराधनमीहते
तस्याराधनमीयते
लभते च ततः कामान्
लभते च ततत् कामान्
मयैव विहितान् हितान्
मयैव विहितान् हितान्
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषाम्
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां
तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसाम्
तद्भवत्यलप्यमेधसां
तद्भवति
तद्भवति
अल्पमेधसाम्
अल्पमेधसां
देवान् देवयजो यान्ति
देवान् देवयजो यान्ति
मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नम्
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं
मन्यन्ते मामबुद्धयः
मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः
परं भावमजानन्तः
परं भावमजानन्तः
ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
ममाव्ययम् अनुत्तमम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य
अहं प्रकाश सर्वस्य
योगमाया समावृतः
योगमाया समावृतः
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
भविष्यानि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन.
मां तु वेद न कश्चन.
Yeah. So sakama bhakti, we saw this before. Sakama bhakti versus nishkama bhakti. So one has to be a sakama bhakta, and then here Krishna is challenging us: can you become a nishkama bhakta? Knowing that apara prakriti cannot deliver the goods to you, you can have nishkama bhakti. Bhakti for the sake of jnanam. Bhakti for the sake of understanding Atma. All along I've been wanting an Atma. Bhakti for the sake of an Atma. Now Bhakti for the sake of Atma. That is Nishkama Bhakti. So we saw that. So Dharmartha Kama Bhakti, Moksha Bhakti. Correct? Anatma Bhakti, Atma Bhakti. Or Atmartham Bhakti, Atma Jnanaya Bhakti. Preyas Bhakti, Shreyas Bhakti. Correct? Like this, we saw all these different ways of looking at it. And so, Anya Devata Bhakti, Paradevata Bhakti. Okay, all that we've seen. And so Antavattu Palam Tesham. Why should I do this? Because Tesham Palam Antavat. Whatever I get from this world is going to be Antavat, is going to be finite. As simple as that. And I know what a finite benefit is. And so, Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Mad Bhakta Yanti Ma. So, Anya Devata Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, if I say, then I am going to separate Krishna from all the other Devatas and say Krishna is the greatest God. That is one way to look at it. Can interpret it like that. Then that becomes another form that I am worshipping. And here Krishna is saying, Mam, Jiva Bhutam Ma. Okay, that me, who is no different than you, that Devata, Mam Yanti, Mam Api Yanti, in 23, Shloka number 23. And so, therefore, Pujya Swamiji says this example. He says it's like drinking Coke with a straw, and you have to, first of all, you have to look down. If you don't look down, it won't come up, it's because, I'll never look down, so like that, if I have that attitude, you can't drink any liquid with a straw. You have to look down. And so that is bhakti attitude is there. But then, am I enjoying this or not? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Then why are you looking down all the time if you're enjoying it? No, it's the quantity is, I'm watching the quantity. It's going down. Quantity doesn't go up. I don't know why. Sometimes they should make some Coke where the quantity also goes up as soon as I drink it. Then I can enjoy it. But I have to watch this. All these liquids. Nice shakes and all that they give you, and then the quantity keeps on going down. Finally, noise only I hear. There's only noise, and then you search around, and then oh, finished. Antavat. And so it's like that, it seems, Swamiji says. And so that is how this one is. And so Sakama Bhakti versus, now he's going to talk about Nishkama Bhakti, 27 to 30. So, Rameshji, go ahead and unmute yourself and Ichha Dvesha, go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, this is, I had intended Dr. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's
okay. Okay. Bhagya Ramesh. Okay.
All right.
Ichha Dvesha Samuthena
इच्छाद्वेषसमुच्चयेन
Dvandva Mohena Bharata
द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत
सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम्
सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम्
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापम्
येषां त्वं तगतं पापं
जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां
जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां
ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः
ते द्वमोह निर्मुक्ताः
भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः
भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः
जरामरणमोक्षाय
जरा मरणमोक्षाय
मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये
मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये
ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम्
ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुं कृत्स्नम्
अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्
अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलं
साधिभूतादिदैवं माम्
साधिभूतादिदैवं मा
साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः
साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः
प्रयाणकालेऽपि च माम्
प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां
ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः
ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः.
Yeah. So, Nishkama Bhakti, to contrast from Sakama Bhakti. So, basically, Dharmartha Kama are important, but they are incidental. They are not primary. Moksha is primary. That shift has to happen. And nobody can live without Artha. Without Artha, body needs Artha. Minimum Artha it needs. Even a sannyasi has some minimum things. And so those things are always there. So we don't reject it. And it's foolish to reject Artha and brand Artha. No, no branding. But then they are all praise. Okay, one cannot bet on this Dharma, Artha, and Kama. And so Nachiketa also talks about Dharma Anyat, Adharmat Anyat. So tell me that which is other than Dharma and Adharma. I'm very clear about Dharma and Adharma. Tell me that which is other than that. Then Bhagavan Yamadharmaraja teaches him what is that and which is the nature of Atma. And so Te Brahma Tad Vidu Krishna. Those people, they know this Brahma. They come to know this Brahma, which is Adhyatmam, which is not different from Atma. And what for they do that? Jara Marana Mokshaya. For being free from Jara, literal meaning old age, Maranam, death, literal meaning. And so Jara and Marana are Upalakshanam or symbolic of change. Change. So change. So Asti Jayate, all this we've seen that before. Asti Jayate, Vardhate, etc. So the Shad Vikaraha, the change. So for to be free from change, and the only way I can be free from change is if I am already free from change. Okay, that Brahma, that Atma, te viduhu, and so Bhajagovindam also Mahkuru Dhana Jana Yauvana Garvam Harati Nimeshat Kala Sarvam. Kalaha Harati. Time will take away. Don't be proud about wealth and youth and this and that, because in time is ultimate devourer and it will eat everything up. And so Kuru Dhana Jana Yauvana Garvam Makuru, like that Shankaracharya says that. And so Kalaha, time is Jagad Bhakshakaha. Time is the greatest, time is the eater of this world itself, Jagat. Okay, like that it says. So this morning I thought I'll do that. That the Dhyanam was based on that idea. So those of you who joined Dhyanam. So Trikalagni Kalaya, Kalagni Rudraya. So that Shiva who is Trikalagni Kalaha. So devourer of the devourer. Devourer of time, time which is the devourer, eater, consumer. So consumer of the consumer. Okay. And so that is where Markandeya, Shiva comes and protects Markandeya. How? Well, that is what Trikalagni Kala. Yeah, that is how it works there. And so they will know both para and apara prakriti. These people, para and apara, they know clearly. Karma chakhilam, apara prakriti. We got an indication of that in the second chapter itself. In 16th chapter, 16th shloka, nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drishtomtaha, tvanayostattvadarshibhihi, ubhayorapi. Sat and Asat, Ubhayorapi. So Asat means Mithya and Sat means Satyam. And or here in this language of chapter 7, Asat is Apara Prakritihi, Mithya, and Para Prakritihi, Satya. Okay. So therefore here but he introduces some new words: Karma, Brahma, Adhyatmam, Adhiyajnam, Adhibhutam, Adhidevam, etc. And this becomes a seed for Krishna's, Arjuna's questions which will come in the 8th chapter. And so new words, but the essence is the same. Essence is the same. Like in school, the teacher said, Egypt is the largest exporter of dates. I made a mental note of it. And then exam time came. Name one dry fruit and tell which country exports this dry fruit. I don't know. I never heard the phrase dry fruit. Date, raisin, and all, if you tell me, I know. But dry fruit, I didn't hear. What is this dry fruit? And so I couldn't answer that question. Therefore, Arjuna also is blinking here. And so we will know he blinks because next chapter he's going to use these same words and we'll ask Krishna, tell me more about Adhiyajnam, Adhidevam, and Adhyatmam, Brahma, everything. He uses those same words. Okay. So, and therefore this chapter is called Jnana Vijnana Yogaha. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nama Saptamodhyayaha. So it's called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Last class I said Jnanam and then Vijnanam because Antakalepi. So Prayana Kalepi. And so even then the knowledge is firm, therefore called Vijnana. And another way to look at it is Jnanam is Saguna Ishvara Jnanam. Vijnanam is Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam. Or Jnanam is Apara Prakriti Jnanam. Vijnanam is Para Prakriti Jnanam. Like that we take it. So that concludes this chapter. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.